No, stop that thing. Let me tell you something. You might be one of those people. Sounds like a disease to me.
Yes.
Where is the logic? Nothing. Nothing is there. See how many things don't make sense about America?
Yes, I do. What is up? Welcome back. It's Aaron.
And Petra.
We're a US and European couple discovering the US.
Today, we're watching a video called Things Americans Do That Confuse the Rest of the World. It's always something.
There's a lot of things.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, we post videos every single day.
So make sure you like and
Subscribe.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Is the land
I
of the
am
free,
ready.
the home of the brave, and also the home to a lot of weird stuff that most other countries don't do. This former British colony has truly grown up to be its own quirky person. The following 10 things tend to confuse non-Americans, and you can find non-natives of the US of A discussing them all across the internet.
Let's go.
Okay.
Number 10. Tipping. America definitely isn't the only country in the world where tipping is a common practice. In fact,
Wait, real quick. You know anything about American tipping before we get into this?
I know that some people live off of the tipping culture, which is not a situation in Europe. At least as far as I know, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, which is a big element.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changes everything.
Maybe you can explain after we see this what it's like to tip in Europe.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Maybe later.
if you're curious about what jobs get tipped in what countries, there's a website called whototip.net that breaks down the tipping customs of the world. But America is certainly
we need to look that up.
where tipping is the most prevalent. In most countries and cultures around the world, tipping is simply an optional charge should you feel your server deserves to be rewarded for their efforts. However,
Makes sense.
in
No
America,
explanation
you
needed.
should always give a tip of around 10 to 20%, especially at restaurants. Tipping
Which is
a
insane
big part
to
of
me.
American culture, which seems odd to outsiders. People may dislike tipping, but it's probably here to stay. In America, the unspoken system is that food prices in restaurants are lower than they should be because tips allow the restaurant to pay their waitstaff less. They can then charge you less for food. At least that's
That just can't be true.
No.
Food's not cheaper.
Yeah, it's already expensive and you have to give them a tip. So it's like food is not cheaper, like that person said, but they still don't get paid enough from the company, so they need to have more tips. So where is the issue here? You know what I mean?
Yes.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't.
What else do you got to say? And then you can break down how you tip.
The next time he doesn't want to contribute to the tip at a restaurant because he recently saw Reservoir Dogs. While a lot of people argue that tipping is a good thing because it increases the quality of service you receive, this isn't actually true. Cornell University published a study that revealed the real reason people tip, more or less, is basically random. And customers who receive great service tip on average just 1% more than those who don't. Lots of people around the world look at America and ask, why not pay service workers a normal amount of money and just make the food more expensive? Number 9.
All right. First off, I think tipping's more expensive now. I think it's 15 to 25%
In the US?
in the US. It's not just 10%. That's must be way outdated because that's not true. But yeah, what is your tipping like in Europe?
Like here, from my own experience, you don't have to tip. But usually you do tip if the service is really great and if they're really nice or whatever, they go out of their way to help you with something, then you give them a tip. But that's like, let's say under €5 in Europe, usually.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's like 1, 2 euros or depends, or you round it up.
You round it up. Can you explain the round up real quick?
For example, if something is €4.50, you say, okay, take 5, it's fine. And so they get like 50 cents more, for example. You round it up so there's no complication and they need the coins anyway, for the business. But it's really not needed. Like not everyone has the money to just tip every single day or whenever they go. So I don't understand how in America you can tip for 10, 15, 20%. It doesn't make sense because not everyone has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't just happen. You don't just have so much money to give out to people. So it doesn't really make sense how you put pressure on people, normal people, and they have to make sure they give out the tip so that person can have like a normal salary kind of thing. It just doesn't make sense to me.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
Have few vacation days. Americans don't go on vacation as much as the rest of the world does. On average, we're given only 12 vacation days by our work, as opposed to Europeans
Per year?
who get between 25
See,
and
that's
30
crime.
Europeans 25 and 30. That's just crazy.
30 days is like average, I would say. I don't know, as far as I know.
Which is
Americans on
nuts.
average
Yeah.
only use 10 of their 12 given vacation days.
They don't even use all of them.
Europeans tend to use all of theirs. I guess Americans just can't
Yeah.
bring themselves to leave the
Actually, here in some companies, they push you to use all of your days that you still have by the end of whatever the deadline is. Because then you don't have them anymore. You don't have them forever. You have them for, I guess, a year or something. And you have to use them. If you don't use them, they disappear. You can never use them ever again because they're gone. So sometimes, you can get a day free or a day off, 2 days off, whatever. But yeah, you have usually 30 days. Yeah. I don't understand. 12 days is nothing.
It's nothing.
If you have a sick child, that's a different. It's a sick leave or something.
I think you get unpaid. Just because the child's sick.
Like, that blows my mind. That sounds really horrible.
It's terrible.
the office while there's still work to be done. And while it may suggest Europeans are lazy,
What is that?
according to a mounting body of research, it's actually counterproductive not to take a vacation, as breaks help us rejuvenate, increasing our productivity over time. Not
Makes
only that,
sense.
when us Americans do go on vacation, we also travel less internationally than citizens of most other countries.
True.
But that may be related to our limited number of vacation days. 12 days.
I think also it's related to just the size of the U.S. Like, you can do almost everything in the United States. That's why people don't go international.
That's true. You can have like different, just different parts of the U.S. and you can do whatever. And
Yeah.
it's very different, right?
Yeah.
It just
But
doesn't-
also like here, if you go somewhere with a plane, let's say you go for at least 5 days, and even that's not enough. Let's say 8 days. You have like a trip for a week or something. You have to go for 8 days or something if it's a plane ride too, and it's expensive. Like, it doesn't make sense. So you have only 2 days a year, then it just doesn't.
I mean, the classic American vacation is that you leave on like a Saturday and you come back on a Sunday. Or you leave on a Sunday and you come back on a Sunday.
So those days don't count. It's only 5 days that count.
It's only 5 business days. The classic American vacation is 1 week. Here, I think they start off normally with 2 weeks. The first vacation of the year is like 2 weeks.
Well, it depends.
Or in the
It
summer, they take a
depends.
2 week.
Or some people just take like few days off every now and then. 3 days. They go here, there. Or they take a 2-week vacation. Some people take a 3-week vacation. They go for almost a whole month. And that's their only vacation of the year. It's
That's crazy.
really, really different.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But it feels more like you actually have vacation.
Right.
12 days is nothing to have vacation.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
doesn't allow for an international trip as well as 30 does, as the time and cost of travel to international destinations is so great. According to the Department of Commerce, American international travelers spent 42% of the cost of their entire trip simply on the travel to and
On the
from
travel.
the destination.
Oh my
It's then
gosh.
not too surprising that most Americans
insane.
don't even have a passport. Only 42% of U.S.
Whoa.
citizens own a passport.
That makes sense, though.
Whereas 76% of English citizens do. That means at least 58% of Americans haven't even left the U.S., as you
Which
need a
makes
passport
sense.
to travel. To the rest of the world,
Yeah.
So
this is an
big.
odd characteristic
Liza.
of such a prosperous
Liza.
nation. While it's partly due to limited vacation days, it may also be because Americans lack the desire to travel as much as
True.
the rest of the world. Number 8,
Yeah.
food preferences.
Oh,
When you
here we
go to a
go.
restaurant in America, you're probably
Oh.
going to get a lot of food. At least a lot more than most other nations
Hmm.
would serve. It's a popular topic of discussion amongst non-Americans online. Many European tourists
Oh, that looks amazing.
That was a joke, probably, though. That was like some prank video
This
or
is a
something.
challenge. This is a challenge
Challenge
burger.
video, yeah.
Oh, that looks so good, though.
admit they would frequently just order one item off the menu and share it with another person. America does it big. And for non-Americans, the size options at fast food restaurants
Look at the kid.
perfectly illustrate this. Take a look at this image by a Japanese citizen in 2000.
Wait, McDonald's standard cup sizes, U.S. versus Japan. Oh my gosh. Look at the size difference.
Yeah.
Look at the USA kitty. It's bigger than the... It's the same size as the medium.
It's small. This one is same as this one.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's insane. One thing I don't understand about America, if someone can explain to me better, how did they make such big meals and then people feel like they have to eat it so they don't waste their money? But that's how people are overweight,
Yeah.
obese. Does that mean that for a restaurant to make such a big meal, it's that cheap for them to make that? And they
Yeah.
just have higher prices, so they have the bigger margin?
Bigger margin.
It's insane though, like, because when you have a big meal, you always feel bad for, you feel like you're throwing the money away. So you have to eat everything, but that's how you get big. So it's just not, it's
Not
not
productive.
good. No.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why companies do that. Like, what do they get from it? They have to waste more food. They have to make more for one person only, right?
But I think...
But they make the same amount of money. It's not like
Yeah, but I think U.S. citizens have a standard of they expect a big meal. That's why they
They
do
like
it.
to eat a lot.
Yes.
I mean, I like to eat a lot too, but I don't eat a portion like that for one meal. You know what I mean? That's why.
Yeah.
2011, comparing the sizes of McDonald's drinks in America versus Japan.
That's
The
insane.
medium Japanese cup is the exact same size as the small American cup, and the American medium cup is larger than the Japanese large. But
Yeah.
McDonald's
What?
is on the small size. Here are the small sizes at a number of vendors, showing
What?
just how much larger a small cup is in America.
Small?
While many around the world like to joke
Oh.
about how it proves Americans
Oh,
are fat,
that's what
the
happens.
truth
That's
is
what I
a
just
lot
talked
of them take away their leftovers in carryout boxes to eat throughout the week. Still,
Oh.
American food
True.
is vastly different to food found in the rest of the world. For one, non-Americans are, on the whole, less obsessive about peanut butter.
Peanut
Brian
butter.
Sternthal, a professor of marketing at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management, has said that in many parts of the world, peanut butter is regarded as unpalatable American curiosity. For
Does that
example,
mean
according to
unpalatable?
statistics,
Like not
Americans
edible.
eat a kilogram
Oh.
of it per year, compared to 100 grams eaten per person per year in Europe. That's 10 times.
No, stop that thing. Let me tell you something. You might be one of those people.
Yeah.
Because that boy be eating this
Peanut
thing
butter.
every single day.
Day.
Yes.
Let's
Food
go.
Europeans eat. Other American food anomalies that have confused Europeans include comparatively small fruit and vegetable aisles full of fruits and vegetables that
really?
will cost you a lot more than they would across the Atlantic, as well as an
That's so
overabundance of
sad.
highly processed sweet and salty
Oh my
foods.
gosh.
It's
And
literally
so-
like, oh, you want to be healthy? Great. Pay me $100 more.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's crazy.
But easy cheesy, it's
easy.
cheap. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Easy cheesy.
Easy cheesy probably makes you fat,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But it's cheap, so you get it.
It's terrible for you.
It's like, it's horrible what they're doing to people. And
Sad.
it's not people's fault, but everyone's trapped in this. Or most people.
Yes, they are.
So-called cheese
Insane.
that can be sprayed out of a can. Number
Oh.
7.
Easy
College
cheesy.
sports. In America,
Oh, this is
college
awesome.
sports are almost as popular as professional sports. In some areas, they're actually more popular.
They are more
People will
popular.
have barbecues outside of stadiums.
That's
for
cool though. I like that. I like that because for me as a European, like seeing that, I like seeing big events like this. And here you see, you know, people are probably not paid to do those things.
Yeah.
At least not
yeah.
everyone.
No, they're not. They're not.
They just love to, I guess, hang out with people and
Yeah.
cook food or whatever. And I like that because they really make it a big deal. But the point is like everyone's so happy, everyone gathers, family, friends, whatever. People even go on holidays. I figured last year when I was in Alabama.
Yes. Alabama.
People even go to holidays just to see events like that.
Yes.
So I like that. We don't really have anything like that, especially nothing that is connected to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing. It doesn't exist.
By the
So-
way, this is the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Really.
Professional
That is
football.
huge. For how many people is that? More than
I think
100K?
it's like I think it's like 70 or 80,000.
Oh, okay. Because in Alabama it was 100K.
Yeah. We went to a game.
We went to a game.
Roll
Roll
Tide.
Oh, that was really
Hours
lame though, the
before
way
the
we
game
said that.
started.
3, 2, 1. Roll,
Roll
Tide.
Tide. That was better.
paint their faces and hate on rival academic institutions.
Oh.
College
Fight.
athletics are taken just as seriously by the fans, who don't care that the players aren't as good as the pros and aren't even getting paid. This may be baffling to our neighbors, but there is an explanation for this American pastime of watching what are literally amateur games. Unlike most fun-sized European countries, America
Fun-sized.
is massive. There are lots of places
Yeah.
that just aren't anywhere near a major city where you could go and see a professional team play.
True.
Colleges are the next best.
Oh, that's Alabama.
This is yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the red
Roll
color. I love the red
Tide.
color.
thing. And there's
That's how my nails look like, this color. I
Oh,
need
yeah.
to paint them again.
bound to be
You
one
need to get those
nearby
back.
at
Yeah.
least. College football and basketball also actually predate those sports' professional leagues, so college athletics culture has been around forever. Number 6.
True.
Prescription drug commercials.
Oh
Non-Americans
my
who
gosh.
travel to the U.S. are often surprised to find that there are advertisements for prescription drugs on regular television. You can't go and buy them from stores, so the commercials urge viewers to ask their doctor about them. In 2016, Kantar Media, a firm that tracks multimedia advertising, reported that nearly 800,000 prescription drug advertisements were aired on television, which was a 65% increase from just 4 years prior.
30
Basically, the reason these commercials don't
Wait a second. Wait a second. 800,000?
Yeah.
exist in other countries is because they aren't legal in
It's
other
insane.
countries.
Illegal.
In fact, the only other country where these kinds of commercials exist is New Zealand. The U.S.
Whoa.
pharmaceutical industry is huge. It generated $425 billion in 2015. If they're allowed
Can we talk about that for a second? One thing I noticed again, as in European, is that in America, so many people have something prescribed, like something, pills for this, pills for that, and they take so many pills like every morning or whatever the situation is, unless they're sick, sure, but so many people that are healthy, but they take so many things because they feel like they need them or the doctor said they need them. Like to me as an European, that's like insanely weird.
Yes.
Because we have fruits, we have veggies, like we eat more of that, I guess, compared to Americans.
Maybe, yeah.
And we don't need all those pills for this and that, unless you have some kind of, medical situation. That's a completely different story. But it's too much of everything. Like you don't need pills for everything, you know? It's just too much. And the commercials, and then you think, oh, maybe I need to get this. And you don't need to get it at all. It's upsetting.
Just eat
It
right
really
and
is
move that body.
No, people are filling themselves with things like this, and then they have issues because of this actually, but they don't know it's because of the pills, because a lot of things are not really the best,
It's too much.
It's too much, far too much. Continue.
Advertise? Of course they're going to. And it works. Direct-to-consumer
It works.
advertised drugs tend to sell better than drugs that aren't. But
That's
they're
crazy.
controversial. And it seems
See?
the reason America allows them comes down to our free speech protections under the First Amendment. Governments in most countries around the world think they're dangerous, and the research suggests they're not wrong. Even the American
Wow.
Medical Association has called for a ban on
Wow.
them, as these advertisements have been proven by studies to broaden the scope of who gets treated with prescription drugs.
Oh.
They also lead to patients being influenced to take newer, less effective drugs that often cost more. For example, Vioxx, which was later withdrawn as it caused life-threatening side effects such as increasing the risk of heart
Good
attack
example.
and strokes. Number 5.
Okay, hold on. If you were able to decide something about this situation, what would you do as an American?
I would say no advertising.
You would ban them?
Yeah, because I think the doctor should recommend what to take.
So if you have a problem, you go to the doctor, they give you prescription, you get the specific prescription,
Yes.
that's it. Okay, yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'll do the same, because ain't no way I see a commercial on TV and I'm like, oh, maybe I should have that too because that lady looks great. It's a TV commercial. It's fake. She's an actor. Like usually most things are fake that we see.
Yeah.
Online or TV or whatever. Everything is fake just so people see that and they're like, oh, I need to get that too.
Yes.
But it's
Yes.
fake. But people don't realize that. Isn't that insane? That blows my
terrible.
brain away. Ooh, you
Let's
better
go.
press space right now.
Let's talk about some soccer. Let's go.
Yep.
America, of course, isn't the only
the
country
face.
that plays soccer, but we are one of the only countries that calls the game you play with your feet soccer and the one you play with your hands football. We stand
It doesn't make sense.
with countries like Australia, Korea, South Africa, and Italy in not calling the sport football. Understandably, it confuses most of the world. So, what is the origin of this counterintuitive name? Soccer is an abbreviation of association, which came from association football, the
What?
official name for the game. The suffix was added as a common jocular slang term of the time. The reason the name is stuck is because American football developed in
Yeah.
the mid-19th century, evolving from the British game of rugby. Back then, rugby was loosely known as football, but it was often called rugby to make the distinction. All these sports were about moving the ball forward, but as the game developed across the pond, Americans developed different rules about how you were allowed to do it and what you could wear. The most popular rule set in England ended up being the one where you can only use your feet. And the most popular rule set in America ended up being the one where you get to smash into each other. Hence why the two totally different sports have the same names in the two countries. Number
Wow.
4, not including sales tax.
Oh,
Wherever
this
there's a
one.
discussion of American sales tax on the internet, you can find non-Americans telling their tales and being shocked at the final price because they didn't realize that sales tax wasn't included.
That's what happens. If it says $20 in the store, you have to also pay tax on it.
So does that mean every time you're at the store, you have to calculate like how much it's gonna be before you even
Yes.
get the thing?
Before you even check out.
Even restaurants?
Yep.
So in restaurant, there's a price for the meal you have plus tax plus the
Yes.
tip.
Plus tip. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Sounds like a disease to me.
Yes.
In most countries, the price tag on an item includes the part you have to pay to the government, so they can build roads and other things. but not
And
here in the
like
US.
in Europe.
This is because sales tax in America can vary by county. So something could cost
Oh, look, there's Georgia. 7.15%.
It's on a higher?
It's lower. It's
Kinda.
lower.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just look at Alabama.
Yeah.
It says 9.
Yeah.
Texas
Wow.
is high, yeah. Some states don't have it, though. Like, look, Montana doesn't have it. Oregon doesn't have it, which is cool.
cost a slightly different amount just a mile away. There are also very specific laws about what gets sales taxed. For instance, if you order coffee to go, there will not be sales tax in California. But if you sit down in the cafe and eat a donut, you will have to pay sales tax.
Really?
Essentially, with all these rules,
I
it
did
becomes
not know
difficult
that.
to put things on a price tag.
I didn't know that either.
Not using the metric system.
Oh, this
The
one.
United States of America has no need for
Drake.
universally accepted and logical measurement systems because Thomas Jefferson said so. In 1790,
TJ.
when the metric system was being developed, he simply decided not to bring it to America. So it didn't happen. America, Liberia, and Myanmar are the only countries in the world that use the imperial system. Liberia
does that make you
uses
feel?
the same units
Terrible.
that America does,
Terrible?
and Myanmar is a bit of a mess. They use a combination of their own totally unique Burmese measuring
Oh,
units,
gosh.
American imperial units, and metric units. So
What?
they may have the distinction of being the only country with a bigger headache when it comes to this than America. But surely now that Thomas Jefferson is long dead, we could just switch over, right? Well, it isn't that simple. It would cost a lot of money to switch over the country's whole infrastructure to the metric system now that the US already uses their own unique imperial system. The
Yeah,
closest
true.
the US has gotten is that today, in US schools, kids learn about both the imperial and metric systems.
Really?
So most of us do
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
basic understanding of how the metric system works, even if we never really use it. Even if
That's
you
true.
buy a measuring tape in the US, it will have both imperial and metric units on it.
True.
Throughout
Oh, okay.
American history, there have been various attempts to reform the system and switch over, but none have succeeded. It would seem as though Thomas Jefferson's wish for an extra special system shall live on for the foreseeable future. It hasn't come without its consequences, though, as this confusion has led to enormous
What in the-
mistakes, like
That's
the
me
Mars
when I hear
orbiter
about
that was lost by NASA because of a metric system mix-up. Number 2.
Isn't that so confusing though?
Yes.
Like every time we talk about some metrics thing, it's like, okay, 6 feet, how much is that? How many meters is that? Like gallons, everything is so, like it doesn't even make sense
Even
to me
temperature.
as a non-native English speaker. It doesn't make sense, you know, when most countries have meter and they say, oh,
Yeah.
meter or whatever, deciliter, whatever the decision is. It's weird.
Like a good example is actually Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Mm.
So boiling point in Fahrenheit is 212 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
In Celsius, it's 100.
Yeah, it's the most simple,
Simple.
thing ever.
And
It
the
makes
freezing is 0 in Celsius, while it's 32
sense. Mhm.
in Fahrenheit. It just doesn't make sense.
Right? If you look at the numbers, it doesn't make sense. Also, one thing, the floor, like which floor you are in.
Yeah.
Like we have
yeah.
we have floor 0, and then when you go first layer up, right? For us, it's the first floor, right? So when you're not walking up the steps, when you're still the same thing,
When you're on the ground.
when you're on the ground floor, it's floor 0 because you didn't go up. But then you go 1 up, so your first floor here. But you said what?
But we have the ground floor is the first floor.
Yeah. Where is the logic? Nothing. Nothing is there. Let's
Let's go.
continue.
A month before the day.
Oh, yeah.
The United
This one
States
too.
is the only country that,
Mm-hmm.
when writing out the date, puts the month before the day. And it seems to extremely aggravate the rest of
Exhausting.
the world. Most other countries write the day, then the month, then the year. The
Yeah, 'cause it
majority of
makes
countries
sense.
And
Yeah.
most of Europe and South America do it this way. It seems logical as the units of time are then in order from
It
smallest
seems
to
logical,
largest.
doesn't it?
Also
Mr.
seemingly
March
logical is
5th.
how it's done in
Yeah.
China and Japan, which is year, month, day,
Oh.
or largest to smallest. So why do we format time like this? Well, unfortunately, there's no widely accepted answer as to why this is the case. The month-day-year
Yeah.
order was used in Britain in the 1800s, but why we chose to keep it when Britain ceased to do so is something of a historical mystery.
Wow.
The best
Okay.
guess is likely that the order reflects how Americans say dates verbally. An American would be more likely to say that it's January 1st more than they would be likely to say the 1st of
1st
January.
of January.
That's
Our
true,
notation
actually.
then could simply
Wait a second.
Interesting.
That's actually true. Okay, that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, but when I was learning English, I think we said it like the number first and then
1st of January.
Yeah, because it's like a translation from our language.
Direct translation.
Yeah, so like the 1st of January It makes sense.
instead of January 1st.
But you say January 1st, that's why you write it like that too.
Right.
So you literally do January 1st, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So it actually makes sense.
Yeah.
Simply be a way of writing out what would be the most conversational.
But British probably
Number
say it the
one,
same.
Yeah.
Having a drinking age of 21.
Well, no. He actually just said that they switched.
Right. But do they say it the same still?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
That's
A
what I'm
20-year-old
curious
European may be in for a shock when they
21
fly to the
drinking
US
age.
and discover that they can no longer legally drink alcohol. While you may already know about this peculiar American practice, what you may not know is why it is the case. In 1984, the US passed a law called the Drinking Age Act. It stated that if a state did not create a minimum drinking age of 21, they would lose up to 10% of their federal highway funding.
Whoa.
The
Oh.
states all took the hint and made the drinking age 21. But why 21? Well, America has a long and storied past with alcohol, including
True.
prohibition. Lawmakers didn't just pick the number out of
Do you know
a hat.
prohibition? The U.S. literally banned all alcohol
When?
in the 1920s. No alcohol.
Okay.
It was legal to have.
And now it's more than legal.
Yes.
It dates back centuries to Old English common law, which states a person becomes a full adult aged 21, at which age a person could, among other things, vote and become a knight. Still,
Whoa.
as shown by this map,
Okay.
the U.S. is one of just a few developed countries to have a minimum legal drinking age over 18. In fact,
Wow.
in some countries like Belgium and Germany, 16-year-olds are allowed to purchase alcohol.
Really?
Alcoholic or not, if you order a
I
drink
should
in
didn't know
America,
that.
you're
16.
probably going to get it with a lot
What?
of ice. In most other countries, you just won't see the sheer quantity of ice that you'll get in your American beverage.
Ice.
And wait, 16? Like you're still a baby at 16. Also, isn't it in America you can start driving in 16?
Yeah.
So you get like license at 16?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So how can you have license at 16, which is really a big deal, right? You're on the road, you're driving by yourself, but you can't drink until you're 21. When we all know that most people drink before they're 21.
Yeah.
So accidents happen and so on and so on. So it just doesn't make sense
It
again. It really doesn't make sense.
The driving age here is what?
It's 18. Like
18.
Here you're adult on paper at 18. So you can start drinking, you can start driving, you can have a license finally, all those things. And it's everything at the same time. So you're adult at the same time, right? For both things. And then you can decide what you want to do. Some
Yeah.
people have license later or drinking or don't drink, whatever. But there it doesn't make sense. You
Yeah.
drive at 16 when you're a kid and you probably drink some alcohol already.
Yes.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
See how many things don't make sense about America?
Yes, I do.
Granted, you'll often get ice in your drinks in many European countries, but ice-cold beverages are the default option in America. Whereas lots of people from other countries don't have the same preference, and drinks aren't always served with ice. This cultural
True.
difference is frequently debated online. It could be because in some countries you shouldn't drink the tap water, which is where that ice came from, and in others
enough.
it
Yeah.
just isn't common to automatically have ice with a meal at a restaurant. So, people of the internet,
Yeah, okay, ice is also an interesting thing. When
Yeah.
I was in America last year for the first time ever, I had a lot of ice in my drinks and it was too much. It was like this much of ice and this much of Coke or whatever the thing was of water. It was far too much.
True, but you get refills.
That's true. But I always forget to not get too much ice because then it's just too
Yeah.
much and it's too cold.
And you can ask for little, like no ice
yeah.
or small amount.
Yeah. Here, if you ask for a Coke, for example, you get like Coke in a glass or the whole
Glass
Coke.
bottle, yeah.
Yeah, or a bottle. You can get like 3, 4, 5 chunks of ice, but that's it. You don't
Cubes,
get
yeah.
a whole.
Yeah, you don't get a glass full.
No, and it's perfect. It's nicely fresh and cold in summer, so you don't need this much of ice.
Yeah, they also serve it typically with a lemon.
Mm-hmm.
Coke normally comes with a slice of lemon. So
Yeah.
that's something different. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but it's not too much ice in America.
Yeah. Whew.
Hurts my brain.
Yes,
I had a
it-
brain freeze all the time.
Yes, you did.
I had a brain
freeze
freeze
all
all
the
the
time.
time.
Yes, you did. Brain freeze all the time. Yes, you did. Well, this has been an Aaron and Petra reaction. We hope you enjoyed it and we hope you will join us in the next one. Make sure you hit
Like and subscribe.
We're going to keep the videos coming your way and we can't wait to see you in the next one.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.